Hello students, good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible? Uh, yeah, I gave you chapter 1 and 2 for revision. Any doubt in chapter 1 and 2? Yes? Or any particular topic notes you want to take the screenshot? Yeah? Any doubt? रिवाइज किया था चैप्टर ओके चैप्टर 2 2.1 2 3 all okay so let's discuss this chapter okay very quickly. So here we discuss about trees and distance. First basic definition, first basic properties about trees. Uh, Before trees, acyclic graph. Acyclic graph is a graph with screen is not visible. Okay, I haven't shared here. Okay, now is it visible?
No, ma'am.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first it is acyclic graph. A graph without cycles. This is your acyclic graph, and these acyclic graph in graph theory are termed as forest. This may be connected, may be disconnected. Okay, so acyclic graph are forest. Tree is acyclic plus connected. All those connected graph which are acyclic are known as tree. Okay. Example of tree is this one is a tree, and this one is not a tree because this is disconnected. Okay, this is acyclic but disconnected. Every tree is a forest, right? But every forest is not a tree. Okay, and these are some examples of tree. These are the order. So first n is equal to 1 non that is trivial tree. Size will be 0. And yeah, this is for corresponding to n is equal to 2. Size will be 1. In case of n order tree, size will be m minus 1. N minus 1. Okay, this is for tree because no cycle is present, and whenever cycle is present, there have to be at least n edges. Okay, no cycle, no cycle means there is n minus 1. Yeah, n is equal to 2, we have this tree. N is equal to 3, we have this tree. N is equal to 4, this tree. These two trees, K1 tree and P4, that is star. N is equal to 5, we have three trees, P5 and 3 and K1 4, again star. For all these, n is equal to 5 and n is 4, you can see. N is equal to 6, we have all these 6 trees. Okay. And if there is any other trees, that will be isomorphic to some of these. Okay. Either this one or this one or this one. And here also, here only you can just see, starting with non-trivial tree, you have how many degree 1 vertices. Degree 1 vertices are known as leaf in tree. Okay, so how many leaf? Here 2, here again 2, here degree 1 vertex, leaf, 2. Here degree 1 vertex 3. Okay. Here 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. So at least how many leaves present in non-trivial tree? At least 2 leaves are present, and at most it can be n minus 1. Okay. In case of k1 n minus 1, k1 n minus 1. So in this one, all these n minus 1 are leaves. So at least this one, these are the number of leaves. At most n minus 1. So that's the leaf done. Yeah, every tree is a connected forest. Yes, the forest means a cyclic graph, and we connected forest. Every component of forest is a tree because of acyclic graph, and component are maximal connected graph. That's why connected, every component is connected and acyclic. Tree and forest are bipartite graph, as there is no cycle, so there is no odd cycle as well. And a tree is a path whenever you have maximum degree of the tree is 2. As you can see here, maximum degree, here it is 1, here it is 2, here it is 2, here it is 3. So in these, maximum degree is 3 and 4. In this one, 2, 2, maximum degree is 2. So these are the path. Okay. Pn path and star is also a tree. Pn is a tree and star is also tree. So Pn is bipartite graph. This is also bipartite graph. Okay. And every tree has at least 2 vertices that I already told you. At least 2 leaves. Every non-trivial tree. Non-trivial means that how to have at least 2 vertices. First tree trivial. A tree with 2 vertices. This one has at least 2 leaves. Okay. And if you delete one leaf, suppose corresponding to the n is equal to 4, this is the tree. If you delete this leaf, you will get again a tree of order n minus 1. Clear? If you delete it, what you are getting? Again a tree of order, because deleting a vertex does not form any cycle, right? And you are just deleting 1 degree vertex, so you are not disconnecting the graph. That's why you will end up getting the tree with n minus 1 vertices. Okay. Yeah, these are the properties of tree. A graph G with order is at least 1. The following are equivalent. G is connected and no cycle. So connected acyclic. G is a tree, na? G is connected and has n minus 1 edges. So connected, no cycle, has n minus 1 edges. G has n minus 1 edges, already done. And no cycle, already done. So these tree property for tree, and fourth property is for any 2 vertices U and V, G has exactly U to V path, exactly one path. Okay, exactly one path exists between every 2 vertices because of absence of cycle, right? Whenever cycle is there, we have, for example, we have this cycle. How many paths exist from U to V? One is this one, another is this one, right? So there is at least 2 paths whenever cycle is present. And if no cycle is present, if these edges are not present, then only one path. So in every, that is in tree, every 2 vertices are connected by a unique path. Clear? And if we add exactly, that is, if we add one edge at a time, we are getting exactly one cycle. Okay. For example, again the same tree we can take it. If we are adding, this is a tree of order 4, M is 3 or here. If we are adding this edge, we will form exactly one edge. Okay. Or you can add this edge. That is, if you join any U to V, any one edge, if you add it, you will be end up getting exactly one cycle because of exactly one path exists between every 2 vertices. Okay. This was the, yeah, a tree of order n has n minus 1 size, that is already done. Right? This was the proof. Yeah. If someone asks you that show that a forest of order n and having k traits, or you can just say having k component, has size n minus k. So how you will show? This one is the proof. K number of component of forest ni with each order as ni, each size is mi, and total size gives you the size of forest, and this one is total order, that will be the sum of all vertices in each component. Okay, because forest is G1 union, G2 union, and so on, k component, right? And every component is maximal connected. Component is what? Maximal connected subgraph. So connected and no cycle is present because of forest. So every component is tree. And for tree we have size is n minus 1. So mi for each component it will be ni minus 1. You just put this value here and try to get the value in terms of n and k. Okay, m value. This will be summation ni minus 1, and this minus 1 will be subtracted k times, right? Summation, and this gives you n. So n minus k. So finally you got m is equal to n minus k. That is a forest with n order and k number of component or k number of trees has size how many? N minus k. Okay. This one. Okay. Yeah, every edge of a tree is a bridge because of no cycle present. In tree is acyclic, no? So no cycle is present, and we know that if any edge is a bridge, if and only if it lies on a no cycle. Okay. So tree does not have any cycle, that's why every edge will be cut edge. Okay, and adding one edge at a time to tree forms exactly one cycle that I already explained because of exactly one path. Then spanning tree, spanning subgraph is
Number
tell
of
me,
with all vertices.
number of vertices will be same as G, right? So a spanning subgraph means to say VG will be there, which is tree, means connected and acyclic. So a spanning subgraph which is connected and acyclic, that is known as spanning trees. Spanning plus tree. Okay, for this graph, this is your spanning tree in G is the least connected. Okay, if you remove one more edge, that will be disconnected, right? So it's the least connected. So whenever we want to optimize the connectivity problem, we want to minimize the cost or minimize the distance, minimize the time, we always find the spanning tree. Okay. Every connected graph contains a spanning tree. True. And what about every graph? If I change the statement as every graph contains a spanning tree, is it true? Yes. Is it true? Every graph contains a spanning tree. Yes. No idea?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, if it will be disconnected, then it cannot be possible.
If it is disconnected, then connectedness tree नहीं होगा ना? So it has to be connected. So here is a disconnected graph does not contain any spanning tree. Okay. And if you have two spanning tree, T1 and T2, how can these be different? T1 spanning tree means it contains VG. T2 spanning tree, it also contains VG. How these are different? Yes. How two spanning tree can be different?
Ma'am, if they have a different U to V path.
Yeah, different path means different edge, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For
Ma'am,
example, in case of P4 only, these two are different spanning tree, right? For K4, A4 or kite, E4 you can just say. These are different spanning tree now. Vertices तो सारे के सारे हैं, but edge is different है, right? So different spanning tree means edge different होगी. कोई ना कोई edge है जो and number of edges will be same. Okay, n minus one and n minus one over here. Vertices n. So क्या difference हो सकता है? Edge. Okay, that is some edge will be there which is not present here, and some edge will be here which is not present here. Okay. So if you remove this edge and add this edge, then again it will form a spanning tree. That is, T and T dash are spanning tree of a connected graph. And if you take any edge which is only present in T, okay, then there will be also existing an edge which is only present in T dash, such that if you remove this E from T, इसी में present T only, so you have removed it. So this will be disconnected. Okay, and again you are adding which edge, which you are taking only from T dash, right? Which was present only in T dash. So if you remove, if you add it, this will connect the components of T minus C. So that's how it will be again connected, and number of edges are n minus one. Okay, hence it will form spanning tree. Clear? Then I discussed distance of u comma v. It is denoted by T G U V in the graph G. Distance will be length of smallest path u to v. Okay, that is from u to v. For example, here in this one A to G, you can just look at A and G. Many paths exist, right? Many paths exist. A to B, B to C, D, E, F, G, then D, H, G, right? A, B, D, H, G, A, C, D, H, G, A, C, D, G, right? But the smallest one we will pick up. Okay, so that is giving you distance. And here we are taking unit length for each edge, because this is given as this is not a weighted graph given. Na? Whenever weighted graph will be given, some different weight will be given, different distance or length of the each edge will be provided, right? So here we can take unit. Okay. So distance from U to V is the length of smallest U to V path. So here smallest U to V path is A to G path is A, C, D, G, where the length is 3. Understand? Any doubt?
No.
If G has no U to V path, if there is no U to V path, then we can take distances infinite. If they are not connected. Okay. Suppose you have one component over here, one component over here, and some point U here, V here. Then obviously they are not connected. There does not exist any path. So if does not exist any path, you can take infinite distance. Okay. Then diameter will be first find all the distances between every 2 points, A to B, A to C, A and D, A and Z, H, that is A and H, A and E, A and F, then C and B, C and D, like that. All the distance you find it and take the maximum of that distance. First, for distance, we are taking smallest path length, okay, length of smallest path, and then we are maximizing it. So maximum distance among all the distances will be your diameter. Okay, so DUV, U and V are running over VG and maximize it. That will be your diameter. And for this one, you have maximum distance is 4. That is A to F or B to F. Okay. Then eccentricity we have. Eccentricity is the this diameter is for graph and eccentricity for vertex we define. So from U to find the distance from U to V, U to V1, you can just say to all the point. Okay. Find the distance from U to all the points and take the maximization of all these distances. That will be your eccentricity. Okay, so maximization of DUV from the point U to all other vertices V. You can see V is running over VG. Okay, so maximize it. So you can just say maximum distance from a particular distance. From a particular vertex. Okay, eccentricity is what? Eccentricity of a vertex U is the maximum distance from U. Okay, that will be your eccentricity. Find all the eccentricity just like that. Eccentricity of A, eccentricity of B. That is maximum distance from U to any other point. Maximize it. B to all the points. Maximize it. C to all the points. Maximize it. And then you can easily find the diameter because in this one maximization of DUV and then again maximize it over U. U belongs to V. Then maximum of U and V, distance of U and V. What is it? Diameter. So if you maximize eccentricity, that will be your diameter. Understood? And if you minimize the eccentricity, that will be your distance. Okay? Maximize eccentricity, minimize eccentricity. Then we discuss some example. Petersen graph. For Petersen graph, we find eccentricity for all the vertices is 2. That's why diameter and radius become 2. For hypercube is cube in k dimension. Cube in 1 dimension is this one. 2 dimension is this one. 3 dimension is this one. 4 dimension will be 1 cube and 1 cube inside and the corresponding point at the center. Okay, 1 cube will be inside this one and this is adjacent to the corresponding vertices. Okay, that will be cube in 4 dimension. Okay, then find the eccentricity. Eccentricity for this one from here. Distance, maximum distance from this point to every other point 1. Here 1. Here 2. This to this 1. This to this 2. This to this 1. So distance maximum is 2 and every other is symmetric to this point. That's why 2 to 2 distance and diameter will be radius and diameter will be same. Okay. So for 2 cube it is 2. For 1 cube it is 1. For 3 cube if you will find it. Distance from this to these neighboring points will be 1 and this point and this point, this is 2, this point and this point to this point, this is 3. That is diagonally the distance, so let me again draw it, that will come as 3. So this to this, this to this or this to this or this to this. This is coming as 3 and every point is symmetric in itself, right? That's why every eccentricity is 3. In K cube, it will be every eccentricity is eccentricity of all the vertices is K. That's why diameter is K, radius is K. Understood? Yes. Then Cn. For Cn, these are the eccentricities and diameter, radius. For all the vertices you are having same eccentricity. For C3 it will be 1, 1. C4 and C5 it is 2, 2. And C6, C7 it will be 3, 3. That is C7, that is C8 and C9 it will be 4, 4 and so on. So that is depending on n, how it is related, that is floor function of n by 2 and that's the diameter and radius. For complete graph, as every 2 vertices are adjacent, that's why every 2 vertices, that is every vertex has maximum distance is 1, right? Exactly 1 to all other point, right? That's why diameter will be 1 for non-trivial and for this one it is 0. Similarly, you can find for star, it is given over here, diameter is 2 by 2. If you take any 2 leaf, that are two distance away. Okay, any two leaf, and radius will be 1. Minimum eccentricity, that is from for center point, that is eccentricity is 1, and the minimum eccentricity is given by radius, right? Then path, for path diameter is n minus 1 because maximum distance is between these two vertices, right? The farthest point, and minimum distance is for the middle one, or for these two, that will be your radius. Eccentricity minimum, that is floor function of n by 2. And for this graph also we discussed eccentricity. Maximum is 4, minimum is 2. That's why diameter and radius respectively. Okay. And for any tree, because every two vertices of a tree are having unique path between them, that's why the longest path you can find it, and that will give you the longest distance. Okay. First distance, because we have exactly one distance, exactly one path. That's why longest path you can find it, and that will give you diameter. Okay, here you can see. And then we discussed that if G is a simple graph, then diameter, for a simple graph, if diameter of G is at least 1, then its complement will be diameter of G is at least 3, then its complement will have diameter is at the most 3. Okay. And on the basis of this one, we discussed one question that diameter of G is at least 4, it was given, then diameter of G was at most 4 implies diameter of G complement will be at most 2. So by using the same theorem, we discussed that. We proved the contraposition of this one, or you can just say by contradiction. Suppose it is not at most 2, then it will be at least 3, right? And whenever it is at least 3, diameter of G complement. Diameter of G complement is just at least 3, then by this theorem, complement of complement will contain the diameter as at most 3, and complement of complement is G. Okay, so diameter of G is at most 3, but what is given at least 4. That's why this is the contradiction to the given thing. That's why we have to discard whatever we have assumed the thing that this is not at most 3, that is at most 2, right? So that's the end of 2.1. Any doubts? Yeah. Any doubt? So that's the exercise part. I'm not going to this. Any doubt in 2.1? Okay. Then 2.2, we discuss about spanning tree. Number of spanning tree, that is number of simple graph with n vertices set. It is total 2 raised to power nc2. Here, some may be that is isomorphic to others, right? Some may be isomorphic, some are not isomorphic. So I'm not saying different. Total number of 2 raised to power nc2. Okay, simple graph. Out of this, some are having cycles, some are not, some are connected, some are not. So all those which are connected acyclic graph with order n, these are trees of order n, right? How many of these exist? N raised to power n minus 2. This is your Cayley formula. And out of this also, some may be isomorphic, some may not be isomorphic. For example, n is equal to 3. If you have 3 vertex, you have 3 raised to power 3 minus 2. That is street trees, and all are isomorphic. Corresponding to 3, only one tree exists. But in general, there exists n raised to power n minus 2. Okay. Spanning tree I already discussed. Disconnected graph has no spanning tree. Then we counted the spanning tree for kite. First draw it, all the connected acyclic graph, subgraph of this tree, okay, with all the vertices set. That will be your spanning tree, okay. So like this, kite contains 8 number of spanning tree, okay, that are shown over here. And similarly, K4, if you find for K4, there are 16 number of spanning tree. Or you can just say, corresponding to Kn, there are n raised to power n minus 2 number of spanning tree, because for Kn there are n vertices now. And for n vertices, there are how many trees exist? N raised to power n minus 2. And in Kn, maximum possible edges are present, right? That's why these all are the subgraph of this, okay, spanning tree. So for Kn, n raised to power n minus 2, these are the number of spanning tree. Understood? For K4, it will be 16. 4 raised to power 4 minus 2. One formula is you can count by this way. First draw it, but in all the graphs, it may not be possible, right? Drawing all the spanning tree, you may miss some spanning tree, right? So another method to count this spanning tree is by edge contraction method, that is also known as recurrence method. So edge contraction, whenever you contract any edge, means you replace that edge with the point. So for example, this one you are contracting means this will be shrink to a point, and this edge is now this one. Earlier this edge and this edge were adjacent to these vertices, these two different vertices. Now it's one vertex only, so both edges will be incident with this vertex, and these two edges will be incident with the same vertex. So these two forms the multi edges, okay. So by using this one, we have one formula, that is number of spanning trees for the graph G. Whenever E is not a loop, you cannot take E as loop, otherwise it will be just a point, okay. So E is not a loop, then number of spanning tree is denoted by tau G. For G, it is, you can count the number of spanning tree for G minus E. If you subtract some S, that will be easy to find the spanning tree, right? And again, recursively, you can apply this one, right? Plus number of spanning tree for G dot E. This G dot E is what? This is contracted edge. The graph with contracted edge, okay? So these two graphs are simpler one than G. So it's easy to find the spanning tree for these, okay. That's why we use this contraction method, okay. So by using contraction method for kite, we found G minus E and G dot E. This edge you can take it this edge or this edge, anything. That totally depends on you, okay. So G minus E is this one and G dot E is this one. For this one, you already know this is C4 now. For C4, how many spanning tree exist? 4. This one, this one, this one, this one, right? And for this one also, we have one is this spanning tree, one is this one, one is this one, one is this one. So 4 again. 4 and 4, 8, and 8 also we got from the right direct drawing. Okay. If you want to consider this edge, then you can count the spanning tree by using this method. If you are stuck at this, you don't know how to count the spanning tree for this one, you are not counting at this place, then what you do, again apply the recursive formula, recurrence, that is edge contraction method. You can you can take any this edge or this edge, subtract it, exclude it from G, and contract it, you are getting this one. And from here, this edge or this edge, anything you can take it, then, but don't try to take this this edge, otherwise one graph will be disconnected and another will be just C3, okay. So it's up to you, if you want to take this edge, then you will be ended up getting C3, this one, and C3 with one vertex. Okay. You got this as why I did this E2, because after deleting this one, I got this structure, and the same structure I'll get after deleting this one. Okay, then this graph will be 2 of this one. Then you can easily find the number of spanning tree for this one and this one. Okay, one more method. One was this one was just simply drawing. Another is matrix tree computation. That was in a duplex graph, vertex set are given as this one. Aij is the number of edges between Vi and Vj vertex. Then you form a matrix Q where Qij entry will be, diagonal entries will be degree of Vi. See, adjacency matrix we counted. We form the adjacency matrix. For that, adjacency matrix diagonal were 0, right? And Aij will be number of edges and Aj also same. Okay, and here this is the, for non-diagonal entries we are taking Aij and Aj from the adjacency matrix only, that is minus of Aij. We are just putting minus negative sign, and we are taking for non-diagonal entry for Q. And at diagonal entries you just write degree of all Vi. Okay, at A11 degree of V1, A22, Q22 you can just say degree will be that is entry will be degree of V2 and so on up to Kn, it will be degree of Vn. Okay, from this matrix, if you are you found this matrix, from this matrix you can delete one row and one column. Okay, suppose you are deleting ith row and jth column, then you are getting n minus 1 order matrix Q star. Q was n order, this will be n minus 1 order. Then get the determinant of this matrix, and that will give you the number of spanning tree. And yeah, this determinant will be either positive or negative. If negative come, you can multiply with minus 1. Why? Because minus 1 raised to power I plus j. If you are deleting first row, second column, then determinant will be minus, then minus 1 raised to power 3 will give you again minus 1, then it will be positive. Okay, and first row, first column, if you are deleting it, then 1 plus 1. So you can delete in such a way ith row and jth column such that I plus j is even. Okay, so no need to add this one. Then directly get the determinant of this one, and you will be having the diagonal, that is number of spanning tree. Okay, for this one we are counted by this method. This is your edge recurrence method, edge contraction method, and this one is your first form the Q. Okay, Q by taking the diagonals at degrees. These are the degrees. Okay, and others are the number of edges between A and B, A and C, A and D. And whatever these are same as these one, because of this one is your symmetric matrix. Clear? Delete any row and any column, one row, one column arbitrarily, that's up to you, and get the another matrix of order 1 less than this one. Okay, and find the determinant. That determinant will determine the number of spanning tree. It will be either plus 8 or minus 8 for kite. Okay, if it is minus 8, you just write the modulus of that. Okay, yeah, this matrix tree computation is helpful whenever you have n is at most 5, because after 5, n is, that is number of vertices are greater than 5, then this Q matrix will be having 6 by 6 order, then Q star will be 5 by 5, right? Then finding the that is determinant of Q star will be more difficult task, right? Rather than solving these. So you can always go for this one whenever you have this type. Okay. So that's the end of this theory. Any doubt? Okay. So by using that only, we found 45 for this, and for this matrix 106 it was, yeah, 106. Three. Vertex 2.3, yeah. Yeah, then we discussed optimization in tree. In this one, weighted graph was given, right? So in the last, this 2.2, many spanning tree exist, right? We found, for example, for kite, there are 8 spanning tree, and for this type of graph also, there will be 8 spanning tree. Okay? This is the part of kite. For this one, 8, and this edge will come in every spanning tree. That's why 8 spanning tree. Okay, but out of these 8 spanning tree, we want a spanning tree with the minimum weight. And weight means this weight of these edges, this numerical number associated with every edge. This can be weight of this edge, distance from one place to another place, time taken from this to this, or cost, or some other parameter. Okay. Total weight of the graph will be summation of all these edges, all these weight. Okay. So for the above graph, there are 8 spanning tree exist, and corresponding to all these 8, we have also shown what will be the weight of this. So we want minimum weight, right? A spanning tree with minimum weight. That is your minimum spanning tree. So here, this T6 and T7, these are the spanning tree with minimum weight. Clear? So minimum spanning tree, a spanning tree which has minimum weight, minimum parameter. Okay, sum of parameters. So minimum spanning tree we found by Kruskal algorithm. First, take the minimum edge. Take the first edge which has minimum weight. Then next to that. Then next to that, so that cycle formation does not occur. Okay. For example, in this case, first you can take this one and these 2 vertices, and then why all the vertices we have taken? We want spanning tree. All the vertices at the first step only you can take it. Next you can take either this one or this one. That's up to you. So this one. Next, can you take 2? Can you take 2? If you take this S with 2,
No, ma'am, it will form circle.
It will form a cycle. That's why you can discard this one and proceed to this. This will be your spanning, minimum spanning tree. Okay? This part. And the another spanning tree, another minimum spanning tree will be this one. By taking this one, discarding this. Okay? 3, 1, 2. So that's the Kruskal algorithm. Then we discussed about shortest path. Shortest path is a path with minimum length. Okay? A path with minimum length. But according to the weight of edges, right? Here, weight matters. So how can we find the shortest route? It's the application of the shortest path from one location to another location. We want to find the shortest route. Okay? By finding the distance from one point or one location, right? And this distance you can find by Dijkstra algorithm. Okay? Dijkstra algorithm is to is used to find distance from one vertex in a connected weighted graph or diagram. Clear? So what do you do? Start with the vertex u, whatever it is given, from which we want to find the distance. Okay, so this distance we want to find from u to every other vertex. So start with this u, a set that contains u, and take all the distance. This tz denote the tentative distance. Okay, tz denote the tentative distance from u to z. Z is variable. So for example, t to v1, u to v1, t v1, u to v2. This is given as 2. This is given as 3. This is given as this is v4. This is your v3. This is your 4. You can just say this is your 1. Okay. So first find all the tentative distance from u. U to u it will be 0 because we are at u already. U tentative distance from u to any other point, that will be given by direct edge, weight of that edge, u to any. And whenever you don't have any direct edge, from u to v3, we don't have any direct edge. You can just see we don't have here to here any direct edge. So initially you can just take this tentative distance as infinite. Okay, so we are just taking all the adjacent point from u and taking that point which has the minimum distance, minimum tentative distance. Okay, so in this case it will be v1 because v1 has the minimum 2, 3, 4. 2 is the minimum. So v1 now enters to the set S. So take v is that point that contains the minimum distance, tentative distance from u to z, and this minimum distance will be distance from u to v1. Okay, so this minimum now become distance from u to v. Okay, and this v is added to the set. Then via v, or in this case via v1, just explore all the vertices, whether they are adjacent to v1 or not. If they are directly adjacent, you can take the minimum of this edge. Minimum, for example, v1 is directly adjacent to this one, and you have this is 3. 2 u to v we have, and you can explore from v1 to all the vertices, and you have v1 to v4 also. 3 you can take, or you can take 2. Okay, or 1 instead of 2 you can take is 1. Is it visible what I have done?
No.
U to v1 is 2 distance. U to v2 is 3 distance. Means this weight is 3. This weight is 2. And v1 to v4, this we have taken as 4. This will be already given in the question. Don't worry. Here we are just assuming one by one for the understanding purpose. Now we have explored from u to v1, u to v2, and u to v4. U to v3 initially we have taken as infinite because we don't have any direct edge. Okay, so minimum, सबसे minimum कौन से v1 वाला, right? So v1 will enter the set S, and this will be the distance from u to v1. Okay, so distance from u to v1 आ गया. इससे minimum of all these. What? 2 na? Now S become u comma v1. Because tentative distance सबसे निकाल चुके, u से v1, u से v2, u से v3 and u से v4, right? So now you can explore all the tentative distance of from u to any other vertex via v1. So via v1, if you want to explore, then u to v1 you have to add, and v1 to any other vertex. Okay, so v1 to v2 it is 3 plus 2 already u to v1. So this will give you 5, but already we have taken as u से डायरेक्ट v2 3 था ना, और अब आ रहा है वाया v1 आ रहा है 5. सो कौन सा वाला मिनिमम है? पहले वाला ही, राइट? क्लियर? u2 v2 it was earlier it was 3 ना, so it will be minimum. Okay, so जो पहले वाला है उसका that is tb or tz it was already taken, और tv1 जो ये डिस्टेंस था प्लस जो भी वेट ऐड हो रहा है वहां वो वाला मिनिमम लेंगे. ओके, सो मिनिमम पहले ही था 3, अभी आ रहा है 2 + 3 वाया v1. u से v2 की डिस्टेंस 5 आ रही है, तो मिनिमम 3 ही हो जाएगी, द अर्लियर वन. ओके, एंड u से v3 पहले भी इनफाइनाइट, अभी भी इनफाइनाइट, बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन फ्रॉम v1 to v3, राइट? So same for infinite. Then u2 v4 it was 4 earlier, and via v1 it is coming as 2 + 1, right? So कौन सी मिनिमम है? 2 + 1 और 4. Earlier it was 4, and now via v1 if you want to explore, this is coming as 1, and from u to v1 this is 2. So 2 u से हर एक डिस्टेंस हर एक वर्टेक्स का फाइंड कर रहे हैं ना, सो इट विल बी u to v1 plus v1 to every other vertex. So v1 to v4 it will be 1. So which is minimum, which you will select? 3. So we will discard this 4. Now the tentative distance from u to v4 become 3. So that's how we are determining this distance from one vertex by using Dijkstra algorithm. And you will keep doing this one until you are getting S as complete vertex set, or you are having the distance is infinite, means distance cannot be calculated. Okay, or in general this is the short way. Start with u. Tz denote all the direct edges, right? Weight of u to z, and कोई direct edge नहीं है तो infinite ले लेंगे, right? And minimum जो भी minimum है इन सबसे वो वाला v1 हो जाएगा, right? Minimum that enters to s, then explore from v1. Okay, so tv1 जो भी है first v1. So नेक्स्ट वाला वर्टेक्स कौन सा होगा? मिनिमम जो पहले u से उस वर्टेक्स तक था, फॉर एग्जांपल v2. सो u से v2 में कितना आ रहा था, एंड वाया v1 कितना आ रहा है. सो जो भी मिनिमम है वो that we will consider, and then that will enter to the ZS. Okay, finally we will get S as VG, or the distance cannot be calculated. Okay, so this way we can use this one. Yeah, here we use this one. For example, here from u to every other vertex we want to find the shortest path. Okay, by Dijkstra algorithm. So u to a distance कितनी है? 1. u to b 3. u to c don't know क्योंकि डायरेक्ट एज होनी चाहिए. So infinite starting में, u to d infinite, u to e infinite, right? So minimum क्या है सब में? a ना, will take u to a. A is now entered to the s. Okay, now already calculated distance these one, and via a you will explore. Via a से b पे तो है नहीं, तो a से b infinite हो जाएगा. 1 plus infinite again infinite. Earlier it was 3, so minimum will be 3. Okay, so via a to b it will be remaining u to b directly. Okay, we won't consider via a. Via a to c, earlier it was infinite, no direct s. Now it is 1 plus 4, right? So 5 हो जाएगा, right? tc tentative distance from u to c it will be 5. Okay, u to d earlier it was infinite, now it is 1 plus 5, right? Via a ये वाला वर्टेक्स आ गया ना हमारे पास, सो इससे देख सकते हैं। सो 1 plus 5 6 आ गया, राइट? सो TD now it is not infinite via A, it is your 5 and TD is your 6. Now minimum of 3 5 6 and TC, that is U to E. U to E is, we don't have any edge direct, and A to E also no edge, so it will be remaining as infinite. So here minimum is 3, so P added to the set. Now we will explore all the vertices via B. Okay, so via B, B to C, B to D, B to E, B to C. If you consider this one, 3 plus 5, earlier it was calculated as 1 plus 4. Earlier it was 5, na? And now you are just having 3 plus 5. So which one is minimum? Earlier one. So 5 will be the distance from U to C, right? So we will not take this one, discard it. B to D, 3 plus 4. Earlier it was 1 plus 5. Earlier it was 6, now? Now it is 3 plus 4. So what have we got? What we got? 7. So 7, minimum of 6 and 7, 6. B to E, again infinite. So minimum of these two, D. D comes into picture. Now via D explore all these. Via D you will get minimum is C or D? Not D, C. It is C. This one. Via C you can explore all these. Via C to D infinite. So earlier one is okay. C to E, earlier it was infinite, now it comes as 1 4 6. What is it? 11, na? Via C it is 11, and D it will be remaining as 6, and this was already done. Now via D, minimum is 6 and 11, D 6. So via D you can explore, via D to E only. So D to E, what do you have? 1 plus 5 plus 2. What is it? 8. And earlier via C we have calculated 11. So what is the minimum? 8, right? So 8 will be taken. So the final distance will be 1 3, and through C it will be 5, and D it will be remaining as 6, and E 8. These are the distances from U to every other vertex. Okay, so that's the end of this chapter. By using Dijkstra algorithm, and then we have done this one by using, we have found the some graph corresponding to this matrix, and then found the minimum spanning tree. Okay, 3.1, this one, or 3.1 video. Okay, 3.1. This one, which part you want? Okay, this one, then this one. This one already included in that. This one. Then you have this one. Perfect matching. Example of perfect matching. This one. Yeah. And this one you can take from up to this one, because next is included in next slide. Yeah. That's all? Okay. So me go to the result only. This one. Maximal, which is not maximum. Ma'am might be waiting. Okay. That's it. Then exercise comes. Yeah. Exercise. So this one already done. Yeah. This one was exercise part. Second part. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. This one is seventh. And this one is last. Okay? Okay. Thank you.